Before a compiler can analyze the logic of your code, it has to solve a search problem. It sees a raw stream of characters and must group them into meaningful units called tokens. This process, lexical analysis, relies on running that text through a deterministic finite automaton, or DFA. The traditional way to build these scanners involves a two-step translation. We take a regular expression, convert it into a non-deterministic finite automaton, the NFA, and then translate that NFA into a final DFA. This middle step is where the pipeline slows down. The subset construction algorithm used to turn an NFA into a DFA is a significant computational load, often producing a mass of redundant intermediary states that the compiler has to sort through before it even reaches a final form. But the NFA isn't a requirement, it's a detour. Mathematically, it is possible to derive the DFA directly from the regular expression. Bypassing the NFA removes the risk of state explosion during construction. It ensures that the compiler's first interaction with the source code is built on a direct, optimized path, which is necessary when tokenizing millions of lines of code. To see how this works, we'll use a classic example, a regular expression that matches any string of A's and B's, provided it ends with the sequence ABB. The first step isn't just a label. We have to append a unique end marker symbol, usually a hash sign, to the very end of the expression. Without this end marker, an algorithm traversing the data might not know where a valid match actually concludes. The hash sign provides a fixed target that signals the final accepting state. Next, we translate that augmented expression into an abstract syntax tree. This moves the expression from a flat line into a hierarchy of operators, like OR nodes and concatenation nodes. The leaves of this tree, the actual characters like A, B, and the end marker, are the important states of our model. We assign each of these leaf nodes a unique integer position. We specifically skip over epsilon transitions, which represent empty strings, to focus only on the physical characters that move the scanner forward. By converting the string into this tree, we've moved from a simple sequence to a structured map. This indexed layout is what allows us to calculate exactly how one character leads to the next. From here, we compute three functions at every node, working from the leaves up to the root. The first is Nullable. This is a simple Boolean check. Can this specific part of the expression generate an empty string? In our example, only the star node returns true. The second is Firstpos. This identifies the set of all integer positions that could possibly be the first character of a string generated by that node. The third is Lastpos, which does the opposite. It identifies every position that could possibly end a string for that node. We solve these using set logic. At an OR node, the calculation is easy. You simply take the union of the sets from the left and right children. At a concatenation node, it's more specific. A Firstpos set will only include integers from the right child if the left child is nullable. If it isn't, the right child's positions are blocked from being at the start. This logic repeats recursively until every node in the tree is populated, ending with the root node. By the time we reach the root, the infinite possibilities of the regular expression have been reduced to finite, manageable sets of integers. This leads to our final and most important calculation, Followpos. This tells the scanner exactly which integer position can follow another. In a concatenation node, every position in the last pos of the left child is followed by every position in the first pos of the right child. In a star node, the positions can follow themselves. We draw arrows from the node's last pos set directly back to its own first pos set to account for repetition. Once we have these connections, the tree itself becomes irrelevant. We can extract this data into a directed graph, where every node is a position and every arrow is a valid transition. This graph is the mathematical proof of the scanner's behavior. By mapping these character-to-character relationships, we have bypassed the need for an NFA simulation. To assemble the final DFA, we start with a single state, the first pos set of the entire tree's root node. We then build out the machine by looking at each input symbol. If we're in a state and see an A, we take the union of all Followpos sets for every A in that state. That union becomes our next DFA state. Finally, any state that contains the integer position of our original end marker is labeled as an accepting state. This DFA is fully functional, but it isn't always efficient. Direct construction can still leave behind redundant states that occupy unnecessary memory. To reach the theoretical limit of efficiency, we apply a state minimization algorithm. We start by dividing all our states into two groups, those that accept the string and those that don't. We then test for distinguishability. We're looking for any two states in a group that react differently when given the same input. If state A goes to group 1 on an input B, but state B goes to group 2 on that same input, they are distinguishable. We split them into separate subgroups and repeat the process. When no more splits are possible, we've reached the end. The remaining groups are the states of the unique, mathematically minimal DFA. By ignoring the NFA, we've moved directly from a regular expression to a specialized, highly compressed machine for reading code. In a real compiler, this DFA is stored as a simple two-dimensional transition table. Each row is a state, and each column is a character. This reveals the core trade-off. The compiler uses a small amount of memory to store this table so that it never has to calculate a transition twice. The result is O of 1 performance. No matter how complex the token or how large the file, the scanner only takes one step to process each character. Bypassing the NFA turns the unpredictable cost of non-deterministic construction into a direct mathematical derivation. It ensures that the very first stage of compilation operates with no wasted cycles and a minimal memory footprint.